Hello and welcome to The Journey, WCTV's only faith-based show. I'm your host, Rachel Pellegrino. On today's episode, I'll sit down with the leaders of Waynesburg's newest ministry outreach program called Delight. We'll learn more about their plans for this semester, and then we'll take a trip to one of their weekly meetings. Later in the show, we'll have my word of encouragement. Sit back and relax. You're watching The Journey.
Have you ever been to the Everly Library? If not, you should, because it's great. They have books of all different genres: history, biography, fiction. Try The Evolution of Life, Life of Pi, or Jurassic Park. So what if books aren't your thing? Try movies like Frozen, or TV shows like Lost. Books and DVDs aren't the only thing though. Take a trip to the second floor. Welcome to the Writing Center. These tutors will tell you everything you need to know about writing a paper, and they'll help revise your essays. Now let's head back down. Behold, the Knox Learning Center. Need to print something out 5 minutes before your next class because you procrastinated? No problem. You can also print off pictures of dogs. Because, well, you can. So grab your homework, laptop, and textbook, and study diligently. Bring your lunch too. Actually, you can't. That's illegal. Now you know the Everly Library. Stop by anytime. Seriously, it's open all week.
A few weeks ago, a group of Waynesburg University students began a new ministry outreach program on campus. The program, which is called Delight, is part of a nationwide ministry that offers female college students a Christ-centered community that fosters vulnerability and transforms stories. Today, I'm joined by two of the leaders who started the Delight group at Waynesburg. We have Tess, Marlin, the team director, and also Lana Jordan, the social media director. So we're going to talk a little bit about this group that you guys started. Tess, since you're the team director, I just want to talk to you first about why you actually started this program here at Waynesburg University.
Yeah, so about last semester, I had brought up the idea to Lizzie Guerin, who's the graduate assistant for campus ministry. And I know a lot of ladies had kind of experienced seeing Delight at other universities around the U.S. And I kind of noticed a lack of community within the women at campus. Yes, we have Bible studies focused on women, but I thought it would be an interesting thing to not only provide that Bible aspect, but provide that community aspect for everyone. So it was really kind of a humbling experience getting the whole entire thing started. It took a lot of work last semester, but we eventually were able to form an incredible team of ladies that are running it this semester, and we already have 40 women who are showing up weekly into our service opportunities, so it's really cool.
Oh wow, that's awesome. And then you did mention there are a lot of other Bible study groups on campus. And Lana, you were a freshman, but you still got involved into this one. So what actually drew you to this specific Bible study or I guess female outreach ministry group?
Well, one of the things that I loved about Waynesburg when I first heard about it was the community aspect of it. And so to have this idea of a woman-based faith community, it sounds like a really cool experience, and I do have experience in the past with social media directing and stuff like that, so I thought if I could use that here in this ministry and be part of it, then it would be a really cool opportunity.
That's awesome. And then I did, you kind of said it's a little bit more than just a Bible study group. So Tess, can you just talk about what else you guys do as a group on campus?
Yeah, so we meet weekly on Wednesdays at 5:30, and that basically, we just go through the curriculum book. So Delight HQ makes a curriculum book. This semester we're focusing on Genesis. So each week we go through a new chapter of that, which kind of is a really cool opportunity because the book points out a lot of things that you wouldn't realize just reading through the Bible. And a lot of the ladies in Delight have realized that throughout the past couple weeks that we've been going through this. So we have those weekly meetings, but in addition to that, we also have service where we're starting that up pretty soon. I think starting next week on Friday, we're going to be working with First Baptist, going and helping out at their room at the table. We're looking to possibly partner with the Eco Stewards to help out with some of their service opportunities, and that's a really big part of it because we want to serve the Lord and we want to be able to show that through our service. And then also in addition to that, we have these things called delight dates, which are really cool. Our first one's actually just ended this week. It's an opportunity for our women to kind of pair off one-on-one and just get to know and have intentional conversations about what brought them to Delight, who they are, what brought them to Jesus, and all of that. And then we also have just kind of like community events where we'll have a movie night. We're planning on potentially having like a PJ party or something like that. We're going to have worship nights that we're going to invite people in the community out to, just so that we have worship every single week, but we want to be able to have a worship night that involves the entire campus.
Oh wow, that's awesome. It seems like you guys definitely are doing a lot.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just a Bible study group, so can you actually kind of just talk about your favorite part of all of the stuff that you just named? Lana, we can start with you, because I know you mentioned the Delight date groups. I think that's so much fun. But Lana, what's your favorite part of everything she just mentioned?
The Delight dates were really fun. So like she said, we just finished up our first round of them. So the way it works is you get randomly assigned another student from the Delight group, and in the 2 weeks before the next like reset of Delight dates, you go out and you go for coffee or for lunch or for a walk, whatever you want, and you just talk to this other woman. And I just had mine a few days ago, and I happened to be paired with a senior. So as a freshman, that was really cool to hear her experiences versus my experiences, and have her give me some tips and about college life. And so that's been definitely a really cool part of it.
And then what would you say your favorite part that you just named, all of that stuff?
Yeah. I definitely enjoyed the Delight dates, especially because we not only have students coming, but we have Essence Suggs, who's a GA in the Student Services Office, Lauren White, who's our campus advisor. She comes to our meetings. So we have not only students coming, but we have those people that we get a chance to sit down and know. But I'm also really excited for service. I've always loved serving and volunteering and just kind of seeing what I can do in the community. And I think of it, especially in Greene County, there's a lot that we can do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do.
Awesome. And what, I guess, moving on a little bit, what does this program specifically mean to each of you? Because I went on Delight's website, and it specifically says that it's a group for female college students that fosters vulnerability and transforms stories. So what exactly does that mean to each of you? Tess, we can just start with you.
Yeah, so I had a really tough time coming into college. I was not very strong and sound in my faith. I didn't know anything really. And I started really getting into campus ministry about last year. And having this group of women that I can turn to, not only the incredible leadership team that we were able to form, but just everyone that shows up to our meetings or our events, having them to turn to genuinely is a blessing. And I just love that we all get to experience the love of God together. And like I said, when we go through a curriculum book, there's always something new that pops out at me that I didn't realize. So it's really cool getting to see other people's points of view of the Bible and the stories of Jesus.
And then Lana, how about you?
I coming to as a freshman coming in, it's very overwhelming, and I was very blessed to very quickly make some good friends, Tess and a few others, who kind of took me in and kind of brought me along to church and upper room and that sort of thing. But to have a community that I was very blessed to have that very quickly, but I know not everyone in our Waynesburg community has that. So to provide that opportunity is really important to me, because I wouldn't have been able to adjust to college the way I did if it weren't for the people who brought me in. And so to offer that to people who maybe don't quite have that, I think is a really, really cool opportunity.
Also, you guys also mentioned that you do have a lot of student interest right now. So can you kind of just expand a little bit on that? How are you getting students involved in this new program on campus?
Yeah, so the first big thing that we did was just kind of spreading the word. Last semester, I know a bunch of us were kind of just posting about it, saying if we had this, would you be interested in this? And we had a lot of females reach out and say, I would totally want to be involved with this on campus. And then as we got into this semester, we started posting flyers up. Of course, Lana is taking over the social media, so she's been posting a lot. And really, it's just about reaching out to people. I know I've had a lot of one-on-one conversations, just sitting down and talking to people, saying, hey, we have this group that we would love for you to come join. And it's really welcoming. And I especially love the part about fostering vulnerability, because I think at the college age, it's really hard to be vulnerable around people. And we've only met, 3 weeks now, and I think that it's been absolutely incredible, the amount of vulnerability and just comfortability that everyone has felt in that room.
And I know a lot of people, especially Lana, you're a freshman too, and I'm not sure if there's a lot of freshmen and sophomores, underclassmen that are going to you guys' meetings, but what would be your advice to someone that's kind of feeling a little bit intimidated by showing up to this big meeting with, I want to say, did you say 40?
Yeah, we have about 40 students.
Yeah, so what would be your advice to someone that's pretty much intimidated by big groups like that, especially they do have to get a little bit vulnerable in these settings?
Yeah.
I think that just coming to it to start, I mean, obviously that's the best place to start, but like, you know, when you walk in, like, it's a very welcoming environment. Like, you know, you sit down we hold it in or Stover at 302, and you know, you have all the desks up there, you go up and you sit down, and you know, you're surrounded by other people, and it seems a little bit intimidating, but everyone's having conversations and very open to welcome you into their conversation. So if you don't know anyone, you know, you walk up and you're like, hi, I'm, you know, whatever, Lana, I'm Lana. And, you know, you walk up, and people are very welcoming in the group, and it makes it easy to join the conversations.
Yeah, a lot of people the first time too, and even now, come with their friends. I sat down and talked to a couple people, and they said that when they heard about Delight, they like talked to their friends saying, hey, I want to go to this, would you want to come with me? And our first meeting, I had a talk with the leadership team before. I'm like, guys, once everyone comes in, like, go up and have conversations, because that's what's going to get people to want to stay. So as soon as people started walking in the doors, like, as soon as they have a seat, we kind of just go up and have conversations with them, check up on how their week's going, see if they need anything from us, and it's just been kind of incredible.
Awesome, and I know you guys mentioned you are going through Delight's curriculum book right now. I'm pretty sure it's on Genesis right now you're going through. So is there anything specific, any specific takeaways that you've gotten so far from your last, I want to say 3 meetings or 4 meetings you've already done?
I think one thing is just like a very deep dive into the book of Genesis, which is one that you normally don't, like, you know, really deeply, you know, it's the stories, you have Abraham and, you know, Moses and that sort of thing, and the creation story, but it gives you a whole new outlook on those stories, and it's, you know, not in like one of those like, oh, I'm reading a textbook way. It's a very, like, you know, modern and fun, and you know, there's a lot of laughs in there, and it's a very interactive book as well, which definitely keeps it very interesting.
Yeah, they set up the curriculum book in an aspect that asks questions, and it makes you like talk to people. And I think that's really different from, like she said, like a textbook or just sitting down and reading the Bible. It gives you questions to ask and like think about. So like we'll split up into small groups and talk about it, and it's just been a really cool experience. Like with me, Genesis is really kind of scary, but it's already been like a lot of growth I've seen in a lot of women, like people who have been reading the Bible since they were little, seeing new things about it, like just from this book. So the people who wrote it were definitely knowing what they were doing.
And then who actually, I know you guys have a pretty big team that you kind of talked about, that you got everyone that's helping out. So who's actually leading your meetings? Do you guys switch off and on? Who actually leads the lesson that day, or does it usually just stay the same? Yeah,
so the cool thing about Delight is that it's not like really a leader leading, it's just someone facilitating conversation. So each week, one of the leaders will take a turn like going through and just kind of reading the scripture that we're going to be going through and bringing up like the main points, and then we'll split up into our groups, and they'll like give ideas of topics to talk about or questions to talk about.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Waynesburg University's newest ministry outreach program, Delight, meets every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. The producer of The Journey, Jared Weicker, and myself were able to attend this event and talk to a few of the participants.
So I had actually known about Delight as an organization even before I came to college, and I was just always super intrigued at what it was and how is this different from just a Bible study. And so I think that was the biggest thing that drew me to it. When I heard that we were starting a chapter at Waynesburg, I was so excited. And yeah, I think the biggest thing, like I said, that drew me to it was just how there is that outreach, and there's that web of connection where it's yes, the core of it is a Bible study and knowing Jesus more, but it's not like we can't exist as believers in isolation. And so I think what's so unique about it is just like creating that web of people and extending that, web out into the community and stuff like that. So yeah, the whole book, the whole semester will be in one book, and we're going through the book of Genesis, which is pretty hefty book. So we're just kind of digesting a few chapters every week. And so tonight was Genesis. We walked through chapters 6 through 10, the story of the flood, and the topic was just God's goodness in the times when things are bad. What's really cool about Delight is it is a little bit of an expansion of what just a normal Bible study would be. So I guess a normal Wednesday meeting, a lot of just chatting at the beginning, hanging out, talking to each other, and then opening with worship. And I'd say the bulk of the time is walking through some chapters through the Bible, like a Bible study. And just having a lot of chances to talk with other people and just hear from each other. And outside of Delight, what's really cool is we have a lot of service opportunities. So being intentional about serving as a Delight community and having that outreach into the community. And then we also do what's called Delight dates, which sounds kind of cheesy, but it's actually pretty cool because it's you get to have one-on-one time with different people every 2 weeks. So you are randomly picked another person to go on a Delight date with. But it is cool because, it's not in this big group of people where you're oh my gosh, I don't know anybody. I'm just going to sit in the back. But you get to meet new people and then you build those relationships. So it's cool how it kind of is a web that sort of you get to know people and then you know this person. And it just makes it a lot more welcoming and exciting. So
I was definitely looking for a ministry group that was on campus that was really looking to feed into you as an individual person. And then once I came to the first meeting, I really felt it had the potential to do that for me. There's a lot of people here that I don't know, which was kind of surprising to me because I'm pretty well versatile on campus. So I knew a lot of groups of people, but seeing a lot of new faces was also really refreshing. To be able to have a Christian girls group that was everybody here was already passionate about Christ and was wanting to grow their relationship in Christ already, which was super exciting to see. I think that what I want to get out of it most, I guess, is to build those Christian relationships with other people. I was also really excited to hear that they were doing service projects and they were doing outings and group gatherings and stuff that you don't really get with a normal Bible study. So I'm excited to be able to get out of the normal structure of sitting and talking about a book or about the Bible and build those relationships and fellowship outside of the group. So I'm super excited to see, I guess, what the rest of the semester looks like being involved in Delight.
All are welcome to join the Delight group for weekly meetings and fellowship with your fellow females on campus. Meetings are Wednesday nights at 5:30 p.m. in Stover 302. Up next on the journey, we'll have my word of encouragement. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. A big holiday is right around the corner, and I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. This one's full of hearts, flowers, and chocolate. Yes, Valentine's Day is coming up. Whether you love it or despise it, Valentine's Day is a special day to show your loved ones that you care. Because of this special day, I'd like to talk about the relationship between love and truth. It's a complicated relationship because commitment to the truth is often seen as unloving. Even though truth can be misconstrued, it is important for truth and love to work together. 1 Corinthians 13:6 states, "Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth." Truth and love are inseparable. You cannot have one without the other. This is a hard concept because as children, we're taught to be nice to one another. This creates a conflict because we must choose between speaking the truth and being seen as mean, or remaining silent and being seen as nice. But God doesn't call us to be nice. Instead, we are called to speak the truth in love. In doing so, we grow to be more Christ-like. It is important to note that the love the Bible refers to is agape love, which is a self-sacrificial love that works for the benefit of your loved ones. Ephesians 4:29 states, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." Speaking the truth in love does not mean having a gentle demeanor. It is about the relationship between love and truth, and how because we love one another, we choose to speak the truth. As we enter into this holiday of love, remember 1 John 3:18. "Dear children, let's not merely say that we love each other. Let us show the truth by our actions." There are many ways in which we can show our love to one another. As Christians, we can start by mending the relationship between truth and love by committing ourselves to both virtues, not just one. I like to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day and give a big thanks to everyone who made this episode possible. And thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The Journey. Good night and God bless.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.